In the heart of the Arabian desert, where ancient trade routes once carried merchants across endless dunes, stands one of humanity's most enigmatic structures. The Kaaba, draped in its magnificent black silk covering, adorned with golden calligraphy, rises like a beacon in the sacred city of Mecca. For over 14 centuries, this cubic sanctuary has drawn millions of souls from every corner of the earth, creating a river of humanity that flows in perfect circles around its sacred walls. But what makes this simple structure so profoundly magnetic? What ancient secrets lie embedded within its foundation stones? And why has it become the spiritual compass for nearly 2 billion people worldwide? Tonight, we embark on a journey through time to uncover the remarkable mysteries that surround this most sacred of places. The story begins long before the birth of Islam, in an era when the Arabian Peninsula was a crossroads of civilizations. Archaeological evidence suggests that the site of the Kaaba has been considered sacred for millennia, possibly dating back to the time of Abraham himself. According to Islamic tradition, it was indeed Abraham, known as Ibrahim in Arabic, who first laid these foundation stones alongside his son Ishmael, creating what would become known as the House of God. Imagine, if you will, the scene 4,000 years ago. Abraham, the patriarch of monotheism, guided by divine revelation to this barren valley, begins the construction of a simple cube-shaped structure. This wasn't meant to be a temple in the conventional sense, but rather a focal point for worship, a place where humans could turn their hearts toward the divine. The Quran tells us that Abraham prayed for this place to become a sanctuary of peace, a center where people from all walks of life could come together in worship and brotherhood. But the Kaaba's story took a dramatic turn in the centuries that followed. As tribes across Arabia began to lose touch with Abraham's pure monotheism, the sacred house became something entirely different. By the time of pre-Islamic Arabia, the Kaaba had been transformed into a pantheon, housing over 360 idols representing the deities of various Arab tribes. Each tribe would place their carved gods within or around the sacred structure, turning what was once a symbol of pure worship into a marketplace of polytheism.
Picture the scene in those days before Islam. Pilgrims arriving from across the Arabian Peninsula, each carrying their tribal idols, each seeking the blessing of their particular deity. The Kaaba became a confederation of gods, a spiritual united nations where every tribe could find their place. Yet something profound remained at its core, an inexplicable magnetism that continued to draw people to this particular spot on earth. The transformation came in the year 630 CE, when the Prophet Muhammad entered Mecca in what history remembers as the peaceful conquest. What happened next was perhaps one of the most symbolic moments in religious history. With his own hands, Muhammad began the systematic removal of every idol from within the Kaaba, declaring that the house would return to its original purpose as a sanctuary for the worship of the one true God. In a matter of hours, the Kaaba was transformed from a pantheon back to its original state of pure monotheism. But here's where the story becomes truly fascinating. Embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba is the Black Stone, a mysterious relic that has captivated scholars and believers for centuries. This dark, smooth stone, roughly the size of a football, bears the marks of age and reverence. Pilgrims who are fortunate enough to reach it during their circumambulation often kiss it or touch it, following the example of the Prophet Muhammad himself. The origins of this black stone are shrouded in mystery. Islamic tradition holds that it was sent down from paradise, pure white in color, but turned black from absorbing the sins of humanity. Modern scientific analysis suggests it may be a meteorite, a fragment of the cosmos that traveled through space for millennia before finding its home in this sacred wall. Think about the poetry of that possibility. A piece of the heavens, forged in the heart of dying stars, carrying the elements that make up our very bodies, coming to rest in what believers consider the most sacred spot on earth.
The ritual of circling the Kaaba, known as tawaf, is itself a profound mystery. 7 times the pilgrims walk counterclockwise around the structure, their movement creating a living galaxy of humanity with the Kaaba at its center. From above, it resembles the spiral of a galaxy, electrons orbiting a nucleus or planets revolving around a star. This cosmic dance has been performed continuously for nearly 14 centuries, making it perhaps the longest-running ritual in human history. But why counterclockwise? Some scholars suggest it mirrors the rotation of celestial bodies, from the orbit of electrons around atomic nuclei to the revolution of planets around the sun. Others point to the spiritual symbolism of moving from right to left, from the external world toward the inner heart. Whatever the reason, millions of people participate in this dance year after year, creating an energy that visitors often describe as otherworldly. The Kaaba's interior, rarely seen by the general public, is surprisingly simple. The space inside is empty except for pillars supporting the roof and some Islamic calligraphy on the walls. Twice a year, the Saudi royal family opens the Kaaba for cleaning and invites a select few inside. Those who have entered describe a profound sense of peace and presence, as if the accumulated prayers of billions of believers over centuries have somehow imprinted themselves upon the very air within. The structure itself has been rebuilt several times throughout history due to floods, fires, and the wear of ages, yet each reconstruction has faithfully maintained the original cubic dimensions and orientation. The current structure, standing about 45 feet high and roughly the same in width and depth, is built from gray stone quarried from the hills surrounding Mecca. Its simplicity is its power. There are no ornate decorations, no golden domes, no intricate carvings, just a cube covered in black silk, standing in humble majesty. The covering of the Kaaba, known as the Kiswa, is itself a masterpiece of Islamic art. Each year, skilled craftsmen in Saudi Arabia create a new covering using the finest black silk embroidered with Quranic verses in gold thread. The old Kiswa is carefully removed and cut into small pieces, which are then gifted to Muslim dignitaries and organizations around the world as blessed mementos.
Perhaps most remarkably, the Kaaba serves as the Qibla, the direction of prayer for Muslims worldwide. 5 times each day, from the bustling streets of Jakarta to the quiet mosques of rural Morocco, nearly 2 billion people turn toward this single point on earth. Imagine the invisible lines of connection stretching across continents, all converging on this simple cube in the Arabian desert. In a world often divided by nationality, race, and culture, the Kaaba represents a unifying force that transcends all human boundaries. The annual Hajj pilgrimage transforms the area around the Kaaba into one of the most diverse gatherings on earth. Kings and paupers, doctors and laborers, people of every race and nationality, all dressed in simple white garments, all following the same rituals, all equal in their humanity. The sight of 2 to 3 million people moving in harmony around the Kaaba during Hajj is nothing short of miraculous, a testament to humanity's capacity for peace and unity. Modern technology has allowed us to witness the Kaaba in ways previous generations could never imagine. Satellite imagery shows the perfect symmetry of the Grand Mosque complex surrounding the Kaaba, with its 7 minarets and countless archways creating geometric patterns that seem to echo the mathematical precision found throughout the natural world. Live broadcasts allow millions more to virtually participate in the rituals, their hearts turning toward Mecca even as their bodies remain continents away. The Kaaba stands not just as a religious symbol, but as a testament to humanity's eternal search for the sacred, our deep-seated need to connect with something greater than ourselves. Whether one views it through the lens of faith, history, anthropology, or simple human curiosity, the Kaaba remains one of our world's most compelling mysteries, a cube-shaped question mark in the desert that continues to draw seekers from every corner of our planet. In an age of digital connection and virtual reality, the Kaaba reminds us of the power of physical presence, of the importance of gathering together, of the profound impact that sacred spaces can have on the human soul. It stands as a bridge between heaven and earth, between the ancient and the modern, between the individual heart and the collective human experience. The mystery continues, and the pilgrimage goes on.